My name is Ernest Dickson. I'm the certification chairperson and sous chef at St. Jude. And as I look around the room, I see a lot of unfamiliar faces. So what I like to do for starters is that we just solemnly Willie Singleton introduce who we are, our affiliation.
Chef Willie Singleton, I'm the food beverage director at Hutchinson School.
Chef Douglas Manson, I'm the chef de cuisine for Jack Daniel's Steakhouse Worship.
Stephen Lee, culinary instructor, program coordinator, and owner of your ice sculptures.
Ernest Dickson, chef with Seven Delicious Catering.
I'm Bob Schmidt, head chef at the Schmidt House when my wife is not there. I'm technology advisor for the organization.
Hi everyone, my name is Donovan Blackbrown. I'm a former student of Chef Stephen Leaks.
Kenneth Smith, former student of Chef Stephen Leaks, the tech decorator program.
John Johnson, current student of Chef Stephen Leaks.
Mariko Dye, also a former student of Chef Stephen Leaks.
Former or current?
Former.
Audrey Vaughn, Two Pots and Pan Catering, and also with Simply Delicious Catering under Chef Erickson.
I'm Bala Tonkara, sous chef for Jack Daniel's Steakhouse and Hosher Present. Enjoy small pastries at worship. My name is Rachel Smith, and I'm a baker at Curry Pond.
Hi, my name is Samantha Green, and we are Lily's Gourmet Bakery. We're a farming company that has all zucchini breads. That's all we do is zucchini breads, specialized.
Mike Hughes, regional chef of HHS.
Beverly Riley, former student of Chef Leaks.
Irene Jones, sales manager here at the Sheridan Memphis Downtown.
Brian Williams, sous chef of the Sheridan Hotel and the Convention Center.
I'm Rita Burton, Express Media Consultations.
I'm Keith Miller, current student of Chef Kirk Martin. She lost her voice.
Juan Anderson, chef manager, Flick Independent Dining, St. George School, chef instructor, Nicole.
Come Ron.
Matt Julian, United States Navy.
Margaret Stevens, Chef Supply and Design. Carol Singleton, First Choice Catering.
Thank you all. Now, as we move forward, I'd like to first of all encourage everybody to sign in, because through signing in, you'll achieve continued education hours, which can be applied to your certification. Just recently, in our last board meeting, we were discussing the amount of people that show interest, express interest verbally versus the amount of people that are actually physically pursuing certification. So let me take you back a little bit. First of all, tell you the importance of certification and how it influences our negotiating strength at the table. That is the most important factor in my mind, that it gives me the ability to sit at the table and talk about things that I'm certain of. That certification says that I know, I'm supposed to know, and it's been quantified by the ACF. And so I have to tell you that I actually started on the journey to certification in 1973, but it was only in 2013, maybe 2012, that I actually got certified. And as I look back over that period of time, and I asked myself, why? What took so long? And part of it because I didn't have anybody to encourage me, anybody to express to me the importance of it. And we heard Chef Doug say a minute ago that and I'll share the same thing but a little differently. If I'm working at Piccadilly's and I'm their chef, the day they fire me, the day my title changes from chef to unemployed. But if I'm certified and they fire me, I could be playing golf and I'm still Executive Chef Ernest Dickson, Certified Executive Chef Ernest don't matter where I am, what I'm doing, the title remains the same. I am still who I am. It can't be taken away from me. And I listen to, and I think about the students that are participating now, and we have to understand where education plays a part in, formal education plays a part in our career growth. Because what happens is, it's kind of like an attorney. If you can imagine an attorney who goes to law school for 8 years, but don't take the bar exam, he's just a student of law. And that's kind of what happens with us. If we go to school and they give us the diploma or the certificate, then we are still yet just students of the culinary arts. So there's another step to be taken, and that is certification. So what we've done, we came to the mindset that the obstacle is possibly the continuing education hours. What does it really take? What does that really mean? What do I have to do to get these continuing education hours? And what part do they play in the certification? That in addition to the cost factor. We're going to talk about both of them in brief. On this table here is a list of things that the ACF approved for continuing education hours. Competitions, and I would recommend competition for anybody. And I have to tell you that if all of us went to competition together, we're not competing against each other. And that always reduces the amount of pressure that we actually have to endure. We're actually competing against a point system that the ACF has put in place to help us determine where we are on a scale of good, bad, and otherwise. So competitions also get us ready for the practical exam. It's a two-part testing procedure. It's a written test and a practical test. In the case where I went through my practical, I went to the Cole. There were 5 judges. I think one of them might have been a master chef, but they like buzzards. They're right there on top of you. They want to see everything you do from sanitation, organization, and the whole 9 yards. Just this week, Chef Doug, who is getting ready to go to do his practical, probably this month sometimes.
Actually, Friday.
Friday. I didn't want to tell him, but yeah, this Friday. And then Matthew Julian is also doing his practical in February. So there are some people who are pursuing it, and we try and support that. But going back to the competition, it's the exact same arena. You know, I participate a lot in competition. There's probably 2 in Nashville that I do every year. And it's not so much about the guy next to me, but it gives me a chance to see where I am and sharpen my abilities, and they judge it, they critique it. But there are a lot of continuing education hours to be gained there, and the list is here. As a participant, bronze medal winner, silver medal winner, and it goes all the way down the line as to where you can obtain various points. And that information is going to be over on this table.
Chef Ernest, I got a quick question for you.
Yes.
With the 3 areas of the medals, bronze, silver, and gold, can you just place and get a medal, and then that'll, you won't have to do your practical?
Yes.
Either one of those?
Certain designations. And designations, we'll get back to that, what they are and what it means.
Okay.
But for certain designations, you can actually compete, get a gold medal in that category, and then that might, depending on your designation, suffice for your practical. And that's a little bit of information that becomes a little bit in-depth about the process, and we can share that with you. But yes, in answer to your question, there are other points to be gained aside from competition. There are 3 classes that we have to take, which is where the monetary factor comes in. Sanitation, nutrition, and management, I believe they are. That is, excuse me. In fact, I'm getting ready to be recertified. And I have to do refresher courses in all 3 of those. Everybody has, that's that continuing education that we do throughout our culinary career. In my mind, that is probably the easier part of the testing. Because that's what we do every day. You know, we deal with sanitation. Every day we walk into our facility, our place of work, we deal with sanitation, we deal with organization, we deal with those things, those three things. Some of us don't deal with management so as much, but that is a part of where that first process, the first part of the process is to get approved for certification. And that we'll get back to. We've talked about that on every occasion that we've had the opportunity, and so we thought we'd move a little deeper into the process. After you get approved, then what? And what is it going to cost? So what we brought also was a timeline, and this helps a lot in determining where you're going, where you want to be. First of all, in a year and a half, I want to be certified. So then, in the next 30 days, the next 60 days, the next 120 days, what I'm going to be doing to move forward and towards that. And that was my problem, having started back in 1973 to pursue this thing. I didn't have time, and I didn't have goals set. I just wanted to be certified. And finding the time and making the commitment to invest in myself was the hardest part. And I think that it made it easy for me to procrastinate. I didn't have anybody who was saying. I didn't have an organization to be associated with where I could see and touch and talk with somebody who was actually certified and hear what it meant to be certified. But there is, aside from the timeline, there is also a list of continuing education hours in one of the documents that I had the estimated cost. And this is the other boogeyman, I think, that kind of deters us from pursuing that. And I think a lot of cases, in my case, my employer saw that as being an investment. A lot of times they'll pay if we approach them. They'll assist us, they'll sponsor us, because that knowledge that we gain benefits their operation. So if we have to pitch that to them, then we should consider that an investment in itself. But this is an idea, a general idea of what it would cost for those various designations for the certified culinary and the certified executive chef. And what it does, it breaks it down. This is the ACF aspect of the cost factor. And I looked at it and I almost missed it, but Chef Doug brought it to my attention. They don't talk about the dollars that will be spent for some of the books that you will need and some of the classes that you will need to take to be ready to take the test. So when you look at these numbers, know that this is just what the ACF will need from you. So aside from that, there is some other information over here. And that was something that I did find out, and I need to share this with the board, that you really don't have to be a member of the ACF
Yeah, I just saw
to
that.
be certified.
Yeah.
We recommend that you do.
But the cost factor of it, if you look at it, is much more to try to go for those certifications outside of the membership than with my membership. And I'm pretty sure they do that to encourage people to join, you know. It's a certification you don't need to be a member to have, but the cost factor will be double than the annual membership fee you would pay. And just to chime in a little bit, most employers nowadays are opting for certification, and I've seen it on websites and job sites that certification is recommended. Okay, it's not a deal breaker by any means on jobs, but it is recommended, which means more employers are recognizing that value and are actively searching for that value in their screening, front-end screening. And you see that more and more nowadays, especially for the higher positions, your executive chefs, your chef de cuisines, right? Yep, even sous chefs, even food and beverage directors, okay? They are opting for that. And a lot of companies will pay for that because it gives them an advantage to be able to promote having a certified chef as their main runner. So keep in mind that it's a sales point not only for you, but for your company as well.
We have a job posted right now at St. Jude for pastry chef, and I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you looked at it, it say certification required? See, so, and that, last year, that wasn't a part, it wasn't mandated then, last year. So as things change in the industry, it's becoming a requirement. And again, it gives you negotiating power. When you sit down at the table, you can say that you're certified. And that takes us to the designation. Right? There are, I think, 13 different designations. There's personal chef, pastry chef, culinarian, master chef. So we have to look at that thing and determine where our skill level puts us. And there are some requirements attached. The ACF has parameters that we have to fall within and help us determine where we qualify at. But and there's a list of all the designations over there, and some of the criteria that's required for one to fulfill those areas. This is the approval process. This is the first process. You have to be pre-approved. You have to be pre-approved to even pursue certification. And what they do basically is they look at how many hours, continuing education hours I have, whether or not I meet the criteria where management is concerned, whether I meet the criteria for how many people have I managed over a period of time. They want to see that all those things are in place first for me to qualify, basic qualifications, and then from there, they approve for me to take the practical test or for me to do a written test.
We'll tell you, looking at it, that they actually are trying to use that as a step into the next job you'll go for, right? So as a certified executive chef, to go for that, you have to have so many years as a chef de cuisine, as an executive sous chef. It doesn't say you got to have 4 years as an executive chef to go for an executive chef certification. It's designed to almost help you move into that next level. To be a certified sous chef, you just need to have cooking experience, right? To be a chef de cuisine, you need to have sous chef experience. So you need to have the experience for the next level at the level you're at. So if you're a sous chef, you should be actively looking as a chef de cuisine. If you're a chef de cuisine, you should be looking as a executive chef. If you're a culinarian, you should be looking for that sous chef position. You should always be looking for that next step up for your career. And that's another sales point for the ACF, is that they're helping you prepare for the next level of your career, which I think is great. We all need that support to think that I'm ready to take that next step. If you have that certification saying that you are, it's a confidence boost, right? Saying that, yeah, you're ready for the next stage of your career.
So I've got one other thing before I move in. Any questions? There's an application over here for those who are not members and would like to become members. There are applications and some other information relating to what benefits you'll get from that. So if ever there was a time to take the first step, let it be today. And if there are any questions.
How many people are actively thinking about their certification? Any show of hands? I will tell you that most people get hung up on that initial process. And it's because that initial process, those 3 courses that Chef Ernest was just talking about, 2 things you have to give in, and that's time and money. To take that sanitation, if you're paying out of your pocket online, it's $180 for that 30-hour course. It's $88 for just for the refresher. I know, I just finished paying it. But it is a worth investment into it, right? I paid for my CCC all along. Yes, sir.
Regarding the sanitation part, does the certification play any part in it at all?
ServSafe could take the place of your refresher, but will not take the place of your 30-hour course. Okay, so if you're going for your first certification, you have to take that sanitation piece, that 30-hour course. When you take it online, if it takes you 2 months to take it, I'm telling you, the first online course I took, I did in like 2 weeks. The second one I took me 2.5 months. Okay.
So let me say this to kind of address this question. You took sanitation at school.
No.
You did?
I just got certified
Oh, Rick Zerberg, okay.
So, yeah,
But I did certified through school when I got my bachelor's at 98. I was certified.
Yeah, but see, it's 5 years.
yeah, it only lasts 5 years. But it requires that refresher if you already have that 30-hour course under your belt. No matter if you're going for a new certification or if you're just
So, sir, say
recertified.
we'll work for him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But only if he's taken the 30-hour course.
Yeah, he took the
Right.
30 hour at 98.
Culinary
If
school.
you took it, then yeah, as long as you hit that 5-year mark, then you should be able to hit the refresher. That would be a question for the national office, because you're past your 5-year course, but you still may be able to take that refresher since you've already taken the course. That once you're ready, we would have to ask that question on that. But a lot of people, and I got a good friend of mine right now who me and him have talked about our CEC for the better part of half a decade. And he is still stuck on finishing those 3 courses because it takes time and money, okay? And no matter how busy you are, carving out a few minutes a day to go over that 30-hour course goes a long way of moving yourself towards it. Looking at the ACF, once you get past those 30-hour courses, it's like a 85% completion rate. Because once you invest that much time and money into it, you're kind of gung-ho to get to the finish line. But it's getting past that first hurdle that people get hung up on. And for everybody who rose their hands for their certification, set a time for yourself. Say, by next year, I want to be certified. That's what I did. And then I did it again. And then I did it again. But this year I'll follow through with it, and hopefully by the time I get to February, I will be certified. But that's still maintained to see. Confident that the practical is a lot easier to get through than the written. Written, they can come from any angle, and all you can do is study blindly for it and hope you've covered all the bases. Practical, you know exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for 2 courses, 3 courses, 2 plates per course. You know exactly the basket you need to use, the ingredients, you know the stuff you need to present. You can practice it. The written exam is different. Written exam is basically guessing which angle they're going to come through. And I will tell you from Chef Willie and I studying for the CEC, they have many angles they can come at. A lot of it end up being marketing angles. Yes, sir.
You can also order practice exams through the website. That'll help you for any step you're going to pursue.
Yep, he's right. For $50, you'll have a 2-month window to go through 2 practice tests and 50 questions a test. The main test is 100 questions, so you're basically getting 1 test. But what we've noticed on that practice, that it's a little bit far from what you're actually doing, but it's good information. It's good information to study. What we did with that practice